Okay, I think everything is on now. Let me make sure that we're on YouTube. All right, that's better. My mouse chose this morning to die, and I had to borrow one from the district clerk. Okay. In the interest of the Tackett children,
Yes, Your Honor.
what's going on with this case today?
This is my petition to modify for an increase in child support. Counter petitioner has asked to seek custody and do an interview, which we have no problem with you doing an interview, Your Honor, similar to what I did with you 2 weeks ago.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. We're here on both motions. I think for the efficiency of time, because part of our basis for the modification is on the eldest child's request to live with her mother. We believe that if this court can speak with the children first, they are on break right now, that would probably save us a lot of time and argument in today's hearing.
Okay, let me ask, is this the same case where I spoke to one of the children a couple of weeks ago, or it's a different one?
No, Your Honor, that was a different case. This is totally different. We have in this case, we were granted custody back in 2017, and now the children are 17, the girl, and the boy is 11. And so we filed for a motion to increase, and then we got this motion to modify saying we want custody. I've already spoke to my client, Mr. Tackett, who's here. We have no problem with you interviewing either child before we proceed on with my motion to modify increased child support.
Okay, and where are the children?
Mr. Tackett, where are the two kids?
Shay's up in her room, but Brendan, he's at my mom's. So if I need to get him, I can call over there and they can set something up for him.
Thank you.
All right, and let me ask, is on the older child, is there a lot to the motion to modify other than the child's wishes?
Your Honor, and if I may, just before I continue, I believe that there is a witness who is in here right now, and I don't know if they intend to call her, but I don't know if you're going to hold witnesses in a different room before we proceed any further.
Okay, who's the witness?
It looks like it's Brandy Martinez.
Okay, and is Brandy Martinez someone's witness?
Be my witness if necessary, Judge.
All right. Ms. Martinez, can you unmute your electronic device and turn on the video?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay.
I was having a hard time hearing you, so I had to put on my headset.
All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you may give in the matter now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
All right. And your name is?
Brandy Martinez.
All right, ma'am. And is anyone invoking the rule?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Martinez, the rule has been invoked. That means that for the remainder of this trial, until I tell you you are released, that you must remain, unless you're actually testifying, you must remain effectively out of the courtroom. That means that you must absolutely not be able to see or hear any of the proceedings. You may not discuss this case with anyone except the two parties or their attorneys, and you may not do anything to find out what questions the other witnesses were asked, what answers they made, or what questions you might be asked. Are you clear on that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to move you back into the waiting room, and we will admit it's time for you to testify.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, ma'am. And I guess what I'd like to know up front is there a great deal to the motion to modify other than the child's preference? Because if there is, I would prefer to find out what that's going to be so I know what to talk to the child about before we talk to the child.
Yes, Your Honor, we do have pleadings on file that there has been a material and substantial change since the last order in regards specifically to the children's ability to participate in extracurriculars and dad's ability to be there and be present in their lives. And in that regard, I still think it's probably at this point most appropriate to speak with the children, because I think their frustrations and what they're able to do and see in terms of their family, friends, go to activities, be part of school events, extracurriculars. I think that those are more things that they're able to articulate, and everything that would come via way of testimony from my client would be hearsay for most part. So that is part of the argument, but I do believe that the bigger portion of that is the children's own statements and their concerns.
Judge, briefly.
Yes, sir.
Again, as I told you, we have an order of April 2017. Judge Donna Rez interviewed the oldest. I am not worried about you interviewing this daughter right now, Judge. Shay knows what Shay wants at age 17. She'll tell you.
Okay, then. So I guess let's get Shay Tackett in front of a computer. Let's make sure that we have, is it Brendan available? And Ms. Cavazos and I will meet in a breakout room with Shay Rose Tackett.
Todd Tackett, are you able to bring Shay down to your computer and you can go get Brendan?
That's fine. I can do that. Let me go get her.
Thank you. I didn't know you were going to be back from your trip so soon, Lachey. I thought we had a visiting reporter too. Did you make it all the way to Branson and back? Okay, good.
And Judge, as a side note, I noticed you have Lori Riley there with you today.
Yes.
I've been trying to call over there in Atascosa. I have a case I'm trying to set that may be about 4 days. The social study in my hand came in, but I will tell you, without using any names, that it involves an attorney that does stuff for the county for you guys. So I'm not sure if y'all are going to recuse yourselves. How do I get a 4-day setting for a non-jury custody case?
With difficulty. I would expect whoever it is on something like that. I mean, if we're arguing about dividing up collectible cars, that's one thing, but children is something else. Can I ask who it is?
It's Jeff Garcia is.
Oh yeah, I've already recused myself with Mr. Garcia's case. So I guess I'll ask you to get with Ms. Riley and see, is Judge Ellison going to, he has not recused himself, is that correct?
I don't think he has. Is that the case? Is that of Wilson County?
Yes.
And that's the tax attorney.
Yeah, I don't think Judge Elson recused himself.
Okay, well.
I'm not sure how we can do
I'll
it.
let y'all work that out on whether he has 4 days or if it needs a visiting judge anyway.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ms. Riley.
And I'll be out all next week. So just, if you want to shoot me an email, I don't know if you've sent me an email or not. This is the first I've heard about a 4-day.
No, I try calling and it's so neat. I get different names when I call out of school. So so-and-so's here today, so-and-so's here today.
Well, 3750 is our number. So there's only 3 of us here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Are you Shay Tackett?
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Tackett, I'm going to ask you to move to a breakout room in just a moment. So I'm going to open up the breakout rooms and you should see a pop-up appear at the bottom. All All right, and do you see a blue symbol that appeared at the bottom giving you an opportunity to join a breakout room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you would click on that, I'd appreciate it. And then Ms. Cavazos, my court reporter, and I will join you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go in there now.
It was so funny. I was looking at my notes, Miss Riley. I have, is it Deanne and Nancy out there?
Well, Nancy's here. Deanna's hasn't been here since I started last year.
Oh, Lori, yeah, and then you're out there, Lori, and then Nancy.
Norma.
And Norma. That's the other one I've talked to. I'm like, hello.
Okay. Can you put in chat what the cause number is and I can look at it?
Absolutely, I can do that right now.
And I probably won't be able to talk to Judge Ellison until probably the beginning of next year. I mean, I can shoot him an email and see what he says.
Thank you so much you saved me a phone call. All right, I'm looking for chat. And I know where chat's at, but
At the very bottom, yeah.
I found it. Okay. My typing skills are fantastic with one finger.
I hear you.
All right, I know we're waiting on Mr. Tackett and Brendan. Let me ask if I can meet with the attorneys in a breakout room just for a moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Lachey, if you would let me know whenever, oh, there he is. Okay. All right, there's Brendan. Okay, I'm gonna take us back to the breakout room. All right, are you Brendan Tackett? Okay, I can't hear you. Let me turn my speakers up. All right, one more time, Brendan. All right, Shay, can you say something? Looks like it says that you're not muted. Let me mute you and unmute you. Mute, unmute, or I'm asking you to unmute. All right, now say something, please. Shay, would you say something, or can you hear them? Lachey?
Judge, I can't hear him.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't my computer.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, is there an external speaker on that computer, or is it a laptop? It has a built-in one? And you can hear us fine, obviously. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Well, and do you want to get your father and see if he can get that going? He may know more about what its problem is. All right, Mr. Tackett, we aren't able to hear you. The microphone's unmuted, it shows, but.
I figured out it was working before.
That's perfect.
It's working? Okay.
It's working perfectly. Okay. All right. I guess, Shay, I'm going to ask you to help Brendan get to a breakout room. And then after that, I'll ask you to step away. All right. There ought to be a join button for breakout room 7. Well, I think they went away. You joined the breakout room. It didn't show. There they are. Okay. It didn't show them. Okay, I've sent a message to the people in the waiting room. Let's see if they get that. Okay, I'm going to join them in the breakout room. I'll be back shortly. All right, the attorneys are speaking in the breakout room. I'm going to start working on emails and see if my judge's queue is working. It was not yesterday. And if somebody would just call me whenever they get back. All right, Lori?
Did you call my name, Judge?
I did.
Okay, yes, sir. How can I help you?
I have not rebooted my computer. I will try that when the meeting is over. Until then, please don't forward anything else to my judge's queue.
On e-filing?
Yes, I was working away yesterday, sending stuff off, and suddenly it wouldn't let me forward things. Now it won't even show me what's there. It says I have 2 pages of documents to look at, but it won't let me, the screen is blank. It just has a little 2 at the bottom to say how many pages of docs there are. And I go to documents I filed and they're still available. I can look at them, but I go to the queue and waiting and there's nothing on it, even though it shows there's 2 pages worth of stuff.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday briefly, and there's several things for you, and they're locked, a lot of them. But I'll let Norma know. She's pretty much working the
I haven't locked any of them. I messed with hitting the stop button to try and unlock them, but that didn't work.
Okay.
Ones that I had not locked and I hadn't done anything to, I couldn't make those work. And I have called them multiple times and left callback numbers, and I haven't heard from them.
They're probably all on vacation.
Probably.
But I'll let Norma know. I'm going to be out next week, Judge, as well. So if you need me, I won't be
I've got
around.
Christmas presents, but I'll get them over there sometime. I'm doing better today. My vertigo started acting up. I hadn't had that in 10 years.
Oh,
And so I don't plan to drive to Jordanton today. Hopefully I'll be better completely.
yeah. And they're actually, I think the whole courthouse, everything's closing down at 3 today. So
Yeah, they told me I had to be out of here by 11:45 because they were spraying disinfectant. And I was like, no, this is the district courtroom. I'm the district judge. You can spray when I'm finished, but looks like we'll probably be finished. We'll see.
yeah.
All right. Okay, well, I will work on email since I can't work on the queue.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Judge? Are y'all back?
Okay. All right, we're back on the record in the interest of the Tackett children. Mrs. Storga, Mr. Bernstein, what's going on?
From what I understand, we're going to go forward on my motion to modify seeking child support, and Mr. Storga, through her client, is just going to drop their case for today.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. And are there any exhibits that need to be discussed among the attorneys to see if they're going to be pre-admitted or agreed to?
Judge, if you'll do share screen, I can show court orders. I'll be able to read to the court how much I'm not sure what name, Perez is making, because she's with the county in San Antonio. So it's a standard figure. There's not going to be any waiver from it.
Okay, the share screen should be turned on.
Thank you, Judge. Whenever you're ready, then I can show you. I'll go through the exhibits. There's nothing I really need to enter.
And Your Honor, on my part, I might have, depending on the evidence and testimony put on, have a few exhibits that have been produced in discovery. And just for reference, those would be the 2017 through 19 tax returns and a W-2 from 2019 that I would produce to this court.
And Judge, I have no objection if she wants to put it through sharing exhibit instead of emailing and everybody waiting for forever. I have no problem with that.
Okay, so if you want to, anything you want like that, you want to share, just post copies in chat, and you can also share screen. And any opening statements or?
Yes, Your Honor. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes.
With your permission, I'm going to share screen. We were here in April of 2017, and Judge Donarez did change the custody at that point. The two kiddos went to the father, but in this court order, Judge, no child support was ordered at that time. My client did hire me, and we came back October 30th, 2018, and filed a motion to modify seeking the child support. Mom was still working at the same place for Mr. Donahoe and Dockery. And the judge said, you know, at this time, I don't see any changes. And so it was denied at that point. I will tell the court, we were thinking about doing a mandamus, but we left it alone, Your Honor, because we knew we could come back. Therefore, today's motion, as you can see, it was filed August 14th. And the reason why that's important is that we are seeking retro. This is child support for two children. We put in there non-substantial compliance with guidelines of the 154, and I have cases, and we are seeking attorney fees to be reimbursed for the work we've done in this, Judge. Just let the court know, because we have to use the date that we served as a retro. Here's the date, and she was served September 9th, Your Honor, of 2020. You already did that. And then, not that we really need to see it, but there is my contract, Your Honor, hired to do increase in child support. And then I'll testify to attorney fees at the end. And that's it for my opening.
All right. And did you want to have anything right now, ma'am, or did you want to wait until Mr. Bernstein's finished?
I'll wait until he's finished, Your Honor. That's fine.
Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, I call Crystal Perez.
All right, Ms. Perez, would you turn on your video, please? And unmute.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, we can't see you.
I don't know how to.
Okay, are you on a laptop?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a little manual shut off for your camera up where the camera is at the top of the screen?
I do, but it's open.
Are you sure? Because it says your video is running.
It's open
Okay.
because I have it on camera setting on my side to make sure it was open.
All right. Well, let me stop your video and then I'll ask you to start it and see if that makes a difference.
You cannot start your video because your host has stopped it.
And I get the option of stopping video.
Start my video.
We had the same issue when Brendan came in. We couldn't, it said the microphone was on, but we couldn't hear him.
But you can hear me.
Oh, yes.
You just can't see me.
I'm going to ask to start video again.
I click on your start video and I see you, but I also see my black screen at the top too. I don't know how to fix it.
Okay. All right, and see, on this computer, I do not have a switch. I have a switch on my other laptop. And because that's just a manual cutoff. The camera's on, it's just broadcasting black because there's a shade over it whenever you pull it across. Okay, well, so the attorneys want to proceed with no video on Crystal Perez?
That's fine, Judge. I have no objection.
All right, so let me ask Ms. Perez, Mr. Tackett, do each of you, would you raise your right hands? Right, do each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you may give in the matter now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you go, God?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, and your name, sir?
Todd Tackett.
Your name, ma'am?
Crystal Rose Bettis.
All right, you may put your hands down, go ahead.
Ms. Perez, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name for the court.
Crystal Rose Bettis.
And ma'am, since June 12th of 2018, can you tell the court, who did you work for on that day?
On which day?
June 12th, 2018.
I worked for Donahoe Dockery Law Office.
And can you tell the court, do you still work for them?
No, sir.
Did you leave their employment?
Yes, sir.
And when did you leave their employment?
It would have been sometime in February 2020.
And ma'am, I sent discovery over to your attorney and she was kind enough to send me pay stubs. One of the pay stubs that I'm looking at shows a start date of February 18th, 2020 with the County of Bear. Would that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
And so as we're here today in December 23rd, 2020, excuse me, do you still work for the County of Bear?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the court, if I'm looking at the payroll records, currently you get $1,472 per pay period. Is that correct?
I don't have a pay stub in front of me at the moment to confirm.
Well, the ones that your attorney sent to me has consistently, except for the first one, is $1,472. And it shows it for March, April, May, June. I mean, would you have anything to say different than what you make?
No, sir.
Are you 26 pay periods?
I'd have to count the pay periods I've gotten.
Well, let me just take some that I have in front of me that your attorney sent. Now, it's hard to see. They're not so much in order, and I apologize, the ones I received. Trying to find one. Are you paid every 2 weeks?
I think it's every 1st or 15th. It is like a bi-weekly, yes.
Thank you. That's what I see on the pay stubs. Thank you. So if I take 1472 times 26, you have the potential of making $38,272. Do you realize that?
Yes.
Do you get any overtime?
No, sir.
Ma'am, in the court order of 2017, the health insurance is court ordered that Todd Tackett is to cover the children. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Since 2017, ma'am, have you remarried?
No, I got married back in 2014.
Thank you. Since 2014, do you have children with your husband?
Yes.
Can you tell the court how many children you have?
I have one additional child.
Thank you,
So a total
ma'am.
of 3.
And since 2018, when we were last in court, June 12, 2018, did you used to live in Floresville, Wilson County?
No, sir. I moved in San Antonio, Bexar County, 2017.
Besides the monies that we have talked about, do you receive monies from any other source?
No, sir.
Do you work jobs for anyone else part-time at any location?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I pass to your attorney for any questions she may have.
All right, Ms. Bettis, let's talk about your prior employment. Do you recall how much you made annually when you worked at Donahue and Dockery?
I don't recall without looking at the pay stubs and things
Okay.
of that nature.
If I provided this court with a copy of your 2017 W-2 or your 2019 W-2, would that aid in you remembering?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I have no objection to opposing counsel reading to the court the 2019 W-2 figure.
Okay,
All right, go ahead.
right. So if I told you that the amount was $29,583.25, would that sound like an accurate amount to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was that amount consistent in your earnings for 2017 and 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so as Mr. Bernstein discussed, there has been a change in your employment. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you know how much you take home per paycheck after deductions?
I know it's less than 1,400.
Okay, and if I were to share with you a copy of that payroll statement, would that aid in you remembering?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and would this court like me to produce that, or Mr. Bernstein, are you fine with me reading from the document?
I have no objection to you reading it.
Go ahead.
So if I were to say that your net pay that you take home per paycheck was $1,010.04, would that sound like an accurate amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and out of the original $1,472 that you make each paycheck, you also have withdrawn dental insurance. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what else is taken out of that paycheck?
I have the dental, medical, health insurance, with also the vision. I also have a life insurance policy.
Okay, and are
for
those
myself and my husband?
okay? And are those mandatory deductions for the medical coverage that you have through the county?
Mandatory, yes. They're deductions, yes. that are
Okay.
mandatory taken out to cover my family.
Okay. And so how does the health insurance work for the county? Is it you pay for person, you pay for family?
There are several options, but I pay for a family. I think it's after 3 and over, it's a set fee
Okay. And
after
so
that.
does it cost you any more or any less to cover the 2 other children that are part of this suit?
No, it doesn't cost me any additional, because it's 2 or 3 and more, it stays at that flat rate. And so with me, my husband, and our son, I went ahead and added my 2 additional children and his 2 additional children. So we have a total of 7 that are covered under my insurance.
Okay. And do you think it's beneficial, or has it been beneficial to your family to have double coverage for your other 2 children that are party to this suit?
It has been beneficial. I believe our copays are cut in half versus San Antonio Police Department's pay versus Bexar County Sheriff's Office insurance. It's a $80 versus $40 a copay. So mine is 40, his is 80, sometimes less. Or our son's medications is free under my insurance versus Todd Tackett's insurance.
Okay. And generally, what are those medications costing a month without the insurance, if you know?
I don't know right off the bat. I do know that his recent prescription that Todd Tackett had filled for his asthma, it was going to cost at least $150, give or take. And I called the pharmacy to confirm if they tried my insurance. They said no, and when they ran it, it was free copay. I made contact with Todd Tackett to pick it up. Otherwise, they were going to return it back to supply because he had left it there for several days.
Okay. And are there any other medications that the children are on that are covered by this double insurance?
There's not any additional medications at this time. There's been times when they need antibiotics or things of that nature. But there's not any maintaining medications that are required for children at this time.
Okay. So in terms of the income that you bring home monthly now, is it substantially different from what you were bringing home between 2017 and 2019?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you had to roughly guess, how much more would you say that is you're actually bringing home per month than you were before?
I would say additional $20.
Okay. Now, to your knowledge, has the employment of Mr. Tactic changed from 2017?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It has not.
And at that time, were you aware of what his earning capacity was?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you know or believe that amount to be?
It's at least over 100,000 a year.
Okay. And so in comparison with what your ability to earn is, do you believe that there's a substantial difference in your earning capacity?
Yes, there is.
Okay. And in regards to your background, what is your educational background?
I do have an associate's degree in applied science. I do carry a pharmacy technician's license here in the state of Texas.
Okay.
And I also am a certified public safety dispatcher for Bexar County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And in regards to the degrees that you have for applied science and pharmacy technician, have you pursued employment in those areas?
I have tried to. I just didn't move forward with that because it didn't provide the benefits and the insurances that I have now.
Okay. And when you say insurances, are you speaking specifically to medical insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
Medical, dental, and vision insurance for the children and myself and my husband.
And as a pharmacy technician, would you be able to make substantially more in that area of work?
No, ma'am. It's actually less than what I'd be getting right now.
And what type of job can you get with?
I need to take a pause, do something. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
What type of employment are you able to pursue with the associate's degree that you possess?
The intention to get my associate's degree was to start pre-med to be a pharmacist and get that started.
Okay.
But, life happened and things changed. But having my certified pharmacy technician, I could only get a job at a pharmacy technician pharmacy, like a retail or mail order pharmacy. I could also do traveling. I choose not to do that because my kids are small.
Okay. And what is your current work schedule at the position that you're currently employed at?
It's a Monday through Friday day shift. So it's 7 to 3.
Okay. And if this court were to order child support, how would that financially impact your ability to care for all 3 of your children going forward?
It would substantially impact our way of living.
Okay. Pass this witness.
Mr. Bernstein?
I have no further questions.
All right. Any other witnesses, Mr. Bernstein?
Todd Tackett,
Go ahead, sir.
please state your name for the court.
Todd Tackett.
And Mr. Tackett, you have filed a motion to modify asking for child support. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in your petition, you're asking for an increase because at this point, the 2018 order has it at 0. You're receiving no child support. Is that correct?
Yes.
And since 2018, your children, have gotten older by 2 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
And have their needs and changes and expenses that you're paying for increased in the past 2 years?
Yes.
Give some examples, Mr. Tackett, as to what you're having to pay for and what you will be paying for in the future. Let's just take Shay.
Well, Shay, I mean, if you consider both of them for school lunches. I pay for all their school lunches. Even when they come from her house to school, I'm still responsible for their school lunches. She's going to be a senior next year. Her senior stuff is going to come around. I'm responsible for that. I mean, she did drop out of extracurricular activities, but I was responsible for all of that as well. Brendan, he wants to play basketball, or he did at first. He backed out, but then he's really looking forward to playing football next year. That's expensive. You got to buy all the equipment and things like that, and then it's not cheap.
Well, and not to mention, sir, you're paying either mortgage or rent of where you're living.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a poor connection. What was that?
Do you pay either mortgage or rent wherever you're living at?
Yes.
And are you covering the water for you and the children?
Yes.
And so, Shay, is she going to be driving soon?
She's driving.
And did you say she is driving?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And so are you paying for the gas and oil and everything and the maintenance on the vehicle that she's driving?
No.
Okay. Who's paying for the gas?
Her mom, I guess.
Okay. And so, sir, let me ask you, we heard about your income from 2018 to today's date. Have you had an increase with SAPD?
Just annual percentages. I'm not sure exactly what it is.
And you understand with what mom testified that at one point she made like maybe 29,000, but now she's making closer to 38,000. You did hear that. Is that correct?
It cut out a little bit again, but like her increase, yeah, I mean, I didn't know about it until now, but yeah,
And you understand she's no longer working for Mr. Donahoe and Dockery, that she's now working for Bear County, is that correct?
yes,
In your motion to modify, with whatever child support figure the court awards, you're asking for it to be retro to the date that she was served in September, is that correct?
yes,
You also signed a contract with my law office to represent you, is that correct?
yes,
And in that contract, you agreed to pay all reasonable necessary attorney fees, is that correct?
yes,
You also paid $150 court costs that you're asking the court to reimburse you, is that correct?
yes,
Do you believe that the monies that you would receive as child support would be in the best interest of the children?
yes.
I thank you. I pass to opposing counsel. Be sure to listen to her question first, because the court reporter can only take down one person at a time.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Tactic, you heard my client state what your annual income was. Is that a correct depiction of how much you currently make?
I don't remember hearing that. I did cut out for a little bit. I was losing connection. It went like all the way out. I was trying to get on my phone, but I came back.
That's okay, sir. Can you please tell this court how much you gross annually from your position?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it's between 75 and 80,000, I guess.
Okay. And you said that's your gross?
Yes.
And is that before any additional benefits? Is that just your salary amount?
Sometimes we have like a sick leave buyback and things like that, where we can get a little bit extra money, and it's also with overtime included.
Okay. Is it fair to say that there have been periods of time between 2017 and now that you've taken home over $100,000?
No, I haven't.
Okay. What would be the most that you believe that you have filed on your tax return as your earnings for the year, including?
I'm losing connection.
That's okay, sir.
I believe it's about 75, 80,000. That's the most I've brought, as far as I know. Like I said, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. And you'd agree with me that that's a substantially higher amount than my client earns per year, even with the increase.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we spoke a little bit, or your attorney spoke a little bit about Shay's vehicle. It's fair to say that it's my client who purchased the vehicle for Shay. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. Who
She
are you?
got it. It's her husband's old vehicle,
Okay.
so she didn't
Alright.
purchase it.
And I believe I heard that it was an old vehicle. I think
Yeah, it was
your
passed.
audio broke up.
Okay. It was, yes, it was passed down from her husband.
Okay. So you're representing to the court that it's Shay's stepfather's old vehicle.
Yes.
And you'd agree with me that you didn't make any payments towards this old vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. And in regards to the insurance that's paid monthly for Shay to drive the vehicle, that's an expense that my client also pays. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in regards to any kind of oil change, new tires, or other repairs that are needed for this older vehicle, you'd also agree with me that it's my client that is providing the monies to cover those repairs.
Yes.
Okay. Now, earlier we talked about your son's asthma. Is that accurate that the medication is covered because there's double insurance?
I believe so, but I'm not sure.
Okay. And would you agree with me that it's definitely not a bad thing for the children to have two insurances and be covered by both parties?
I agree.
Okay. Now, in regards to your employment, it doesn't cost you substantially more to cover the children, does it?
No.
So in regards to the additional expenses that you believe you're going to incur senior year, are you referring to maybe like senior portraits, or what additional expenses are you anticipating in 2022?
Well, it includes her cap and gown, like anything that they incur. Like, you got a lot of senior activities that they participate in as well. She also does the National Honor Society and things like that. So,
now it's also true that your daughter has, because of her work through LULAC, already received a 2-year scholarship for college. Is that correct?
I believe that's what it is.
Okay. So that at the very outset is something that you and my client don't have to stress over in regards to her higher education.
Yes.
And as we sit here today, the children aren't currently enrolled in an extracurricular that's costing you money out of pocket.
Not right now. He was going to do basketball, but he backed out of that.
No further questions for this witness.
Bernstein?
Mr. Tackett, can you hear me?
Yes.
When the question was asked of you, does the mother pay the car insurance? You said yes. My question to you is, do you really know if mom pays the car insurance versus her husband?
No, I don't.
When you were asked, well, who pays oil and gas? And you said, well, probably the mom. Do you know whether or not it's the mom versus the stepfather?
No, I do not.
Okay. And have you ever been given an insurance card from the mother regarding the secondary insurance?
No. Oh, yes. Like her health insurance? Yes. Yes. For her health insurance, yes, I did. Yes.
Great. Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Go ahead. Ms. Kiora, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bernstein?
Just be myself for attorney fees, Your Honor, and it'll be brief.
All right, let's finish up the merits first.
Oh, that's all I have, Judge. For child support purposes, that's the only witnesses I have.
All right, do you have any other witnesses on the merits?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then Mr. Bernstein, would you raise your right hand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Swear or affirm the testimony you may give in the matter now on trial be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, I was hired on July 29, 2020 to represent Mr. Tackett in a motion to modify. In this particular case, we have done discovery. We did do the pleadings. We appeared in court, got reset to today. So when I testify, and we've been here, we're coming up on 11, and I know I'll be preparing the orders, Judge, so I'll have close to 20 hours in this case. Now, I have to testify this way. I charge $400 an hour, which is my reasonable and necessary attorney fee. However, under their system of prepaid legal, I reduce my rate to $135. So I'm reducing it with my testimony to $135, Your Honor. Give me 2 seconds. That equals $2,700 that we're asking for as reimbursement of attorney fees, which is reasonable and necessary, as well as the $150 court cost that was incurred by Mr. Tackett to pay for the filing fees and having mom served. We believe the attorney fees are reasonable and necessary. I have 33 years of experience, over 150 jury trials, over 10,000 non-jury. So I do pass myself off to opposing counsel for any questions she may have about me reducing my hourly rate to $135.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, in regards to the reduction of your rate, is that based upon a payment made out by the employer to fund Mr. Tackett's legal fees?
You're close. Under the old system, because this ends December 31st, prepaid legal would cover police officers or firefighters up to 20 hours. And depending on what attorney they hired on what we call it outside the plan, the rate is whatever the attorney wanted to charge. I did mine at 135, counsel.
And to your knowledge, that's an amount that Mr. Tactic isn't having to pay back to his employer.
That would be correct with what you asked me.
No further questions.
Judge, we rest.
All right. Anything else from the respondent?
Your Honor, I think that I can say opening and
Okay,
closing.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Let's pause this for a moment. All right, do you want to try again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but your video keeps breaking up also, but we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Your Honor, I think that I can supplement an opening and closing together. So if Mr. Burns to proceed first, that's completely fine with me, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Judge, in this particular instance, you've heard evidence. The case law out of the fourth court is simply this. Has there been material substantial change? Well, the answer is yes. And it can involve either party or it can involve the children. In this case, we know the kids' expenses are definitely going to be what they are in the last 2 years. Mom, though, has paid zero from the 2018 court order, and therefore there is a material substantial change from that to today. She has a new job with Bexar County. So what I did, Judge, I took her gross figure. I did not subtract a secondary insurance. The 30, because it covers 7 people, Judge. So if she dropped these 2 kiddos of this case, it wouldn't matter because she's still paying. So 38,272 was the gross. I divided it by 12 and ran the numbers. I did give her credit for 22.5. She has 1 child of the marriage, as she testified to, and therefore it comes out to be $607.50. The judge has the option of making it retroactive per the statute to September of 2020, as well as awarding attorney fees. We leave that up to the court, whether you choose to do that or not, and $150 court costs for filing. Really, Judge, this is not, the screen's all shifted, sorry. We lost counsel, Judge. So with
Okay,
that,
let's hold on.
yeah, I'm stopping.
Understand. Okay. Mrs. Story, you're muted. You disappeared for briefly. Were you able to hear Mr. Bernstein?
I think I left off on him asking for attorney's fees.
Right, I said 100,000. No, I'm joking. And so, Judge, that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Storga?
Yes, Your Honor. This court has previously taken up this same request for modification twice in the past, and both times in the past, this court has denied petitioner's request for an increase or any child support. And I believe that based on what you've heard, there has not been a substantial change to merit another request. The petitioner is in a financial situation that affords him the ability to provide for the needs of these kids. My client makes a fraction of what the petitioner makes. And I believe that the court has taken that into consideration in the past, and we'd ask that the court continue to take that into consideration now. In addition to the fact that the increased expenses Mr. Bernstein has referred to involve items such as vehicles, which you heard testimony from my client and Mr. Tactic that those are expenses being covered by my client. When it comes to keeping up a vehicle and car insurance for a teenage girl, that isn't cheap. And he's testified that he doesn't know where, those monies are coming from for even the gas for Shay to drive back and forth. And so I do believe that the court should take that in consideration when determining whether or not it's appropriate to order any child support going forward. Additionally, I think that it's important for this court to also take into consideration that these 2 parties are in a unique situation to have health insurance at a very nominal cost covered by their employer, which, as you've heard, is to the benefit of the children and to the parents. They have a minimal copay for doctor's visits and don't have to cover drug cost for things like Brendan's asthma medication. And I believe that those expenses for other parents who don't have double insurance to cover these things do add up, and that should be taken into consideration as well. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, I don't believe that it's appropriate at this time, given the parties' situations, to merit a change and to order child support. We've heard no testimony immediately right now as we sit here today that warrants additional fees that are needed for the children. They're not in extracurriculars here today. We've heard that they've dropped out of extracurriculars for the foreseeable future. And so as we sit here, I don't know what other costs and other changes that it is that have been pled or argued, because that evidence hasn't been presented. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, I'm asking that you deny their petition and furthermore deny any fees to Mr. Bernstein, as those have already been covered, and Mr. Tactic isn't going to have to reimburse those fees. Those are fees that have been paid out full and clear, and I think the parties need to just go on their way and continue taking care of these children. Thank you.
Brief response, Your Honor.
Yes.
154.062, the court shall calculate net resources, and that just gives the things that we can calculate, as well as things we can take out. That's mandatory. 154.123 is the may factors. That's what counsel was asking questions on, about expenses of, what cars and stuff. And so, Judge, the Supreme Court, through the fourth court, has always done the court shall. And so that's what we're here for today, Judge. Thank you. That's my brief response.
All right. Give me about. All right. I have a quarter till 11. We'll come back at 11 o'clock. The parties and attorneys are excused until then. All right. We're back on the record in the matter of the Tackett children. Mr. Bernstein, what was your testimony about how much of your attorney's fees were paid by the prepaid insurance and how much was Mr. Tackett's out of pocket?
Out of pocket for Mr. Tackett is only $150, Your Honor. Since he did not go over the 20 hours, he'll not be paying me any extra. Because at that point, I'm at 400 an hour.
Okay. And the 150, that's for filing and service?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, anything else from either side?
No.
All right, I will order Ms. Perez to carry the children on her insurance as secondary insurance. Also, it's happened, but I'll also order that insurance cards be provided and the insurance used to the extent possible as secondary insurance or even in primary if necessary or if available for prescriptions. And I'll ask that that calculation be made so that the proportion of the insurance for these two children would be excluded from Ms. Perez's gross income. I'll find there has been a substantial change in the circumstances of both the children and their mother. I'll also find that there are reasons to deviate from the guidelines, and I will order the attorneys to calculate what the guideline child support would be once that credit is given for the insurance that's being ordered today. And while there are two children before the court, I will set child support at the level it would be if Ms. Perez had not one other child, but three other children, which is 19%, I believe. And when it goes down to being payable for one child before the court, I would order that that percentage be calculated as if Ms. Perez had two other children and not one, which would be, I believe, 16%. All right, so did the attorneys understand what I was ordering? And I'll also order $150 reimbursement for court costs and no reimbursement for attorney's fees.
That's fine, Judge. If you could put Ms. Starga and myself in a breakout room to discuss how much we believe the health insurance is, perhaps we can get some figures done today.
Okay, I will do that. Okay, and I should have just moved both of you to 6. Let me put open all rooms.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm going to work on some other emails. If you will just speak up whenever they come back, somebody.
Judge, we had one question for you. We figured out the numbers for the court.
Yes, yes, sir.
Based on the 19% and taking into account the health insurance, it is $500 child support based on the 19%. And once Shay graduates, then it will drop down to $421 based on the 16%. The only question I have, since I'm doing the order, is what month do I place this at?
Okay, I'll make that retroactive to the date of service.
September?
Yes.
Understood. I'll prepare the order.
And do the attorneys need an entry date or?
No, Your Honor, I'll get this done quickly.
Okay, go ahead and e-file it. I'm having issues. I cannot do anything with e-file. So go ahead and e-file it. Hopefully that'll be fixed. If not, I've already told the coordinator's office not to send anything else to my e-file queue because right now it's just a black hole that documents go there and I can't see them to get them out. Ms. Kruger and I are both working with e-file to get that straightened out, but I just e-file it and I'll make sure the coordinator is not going to put anything else in the black hole.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then we are wrapped up. I think that's everything we have today. I wish all good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
May we be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. Bye-bye, Lachey. You had a good time in Branson.
We did, Judge. It was wonderful.